Hey everybody, Adam here and welcome back. Today, on this episode of the Dad of All Trades channel, we have something pretty awesome. A guy at work printed this out for me. And it is a GoPro mount that will mount on the side of my airsoft gun on some Picatinny rails. Now I just found out that he had a printer, and I went on thingiverse and found this. There could be better. I'm sure there's probably some better ones. His kid printed it for us, or for me, and he didn't really clean it up. So, and I asked him not, or didn't really want him to. I wanted to show you guys cleaning this thing up. I've never cleaned one up, but man, I just think it's the coolest little thing. Doesn't seem too brittle. I was afraid, if I bump my GoPro up against something, if this would snap off, but I think it's pretty tough enough. I try not to bang my gun against anything anyways when I'm playing. So right now we've got to get off some of this fuzz here and in between here and clean this up. Now when I play, I do run a case over my GoPros, so this is what's got to fit in here, and it's close now. We're going to hit it with some files and things like that. That's how it's going to be sitting. So, guys, stay tuned, and we'll get to cleaning this thing up. All right, guys. So what we got now, we've got some 150 grit paper and some 80 grit. Like I said, I've never sanded this stuff before. I'm hoping just some flat sanding. Might even probably take out pocket knife. And if you're into that, I've done a review on this knife. It's rake, so gotta be real careful. Need a little bit of extra right there. So we'll file down in there. Try to get that off. This in here. So it left some between. Down there where you'll need it. You need space, so let's see. Sorry, that's the grandpa of all trades over there making something. So that's pretty good just by pocket knife. Now, like I said, we can flat sand some of this. And this is 80 grit, once again. Getting better. See, if I had a belt sander, I'd actually belt sand this part because it really doesn't show much. But this is working fine. It's not taking a whole lot. And this is some cheap sandpaper. Feel the grit coming off of it. So there's that. You can try and hit it with the file a little bit, see what that does. I get a good grip on it. This is the whole file. That's pretty good right there. Just for that side, honestly. For a couple minutes of sanding. So, and I've also got some little needle files. These I got at Harbor Freight. So we'll see how good they are. I'll get this here. This little flat one. They feel pretty grippy, so. Definitely knocking some grit off. I can feel it. All right, so it's looking better. This right here, I believe, is a groove, so it squeezes down on your gun when you put your bolt through it. This thing was made pretty much for an M5. Yeah, it's pretty much made for an M5 screw. It fits really good. I'll show you that too. So I mean, that area is pretty good for what it needs to be. Yes, I know files mainly only cut in one direction, but plastic, it's not hurting anything. I have not tried to put this on a gun yet to see actually how it fits. I wanted to show you guys when I did it and clean it up. Stuff's pretty tough, actually. Like the sandpaper got some, but not a lot. We'll take the finer grit and try to sand the whole thing down, but it didn't sand as easily as I thought. So now, that section's pretty good. Still a little rough, but... And he said that he could print it. This was printed in 0.2, whatever you call it, increments or whatever. So he could do 0.1, and I'm sure it'd be a little bit finer. But this was his first time doing this thing, so I'm pretty happy with it. Now let's try to file out some of this. All that extra mess in there. Now the test is these have got to fit in here. And they do. Now that does make it look a little bit more flimsy. Gotta clean the holes out. I also have to get a nut for the other side of this thing, so if anybody knows what thread pitch or what size thread is on a GoPro thumb nut, leave a comment. Let me know. I haven't really looked it up yet. See who can get it first. They feel like they're threaded now, but it's just because it's a little tight. Once we put it on and off a couple times, that'll go away. I do need to get a nut. And it did round those edges and stuff a little bit. I don't know why. I would have made these a little bit shorter too. Now seeing it, I think they're probably as tall as like a normal GoPro, but this is just different plastic. There we go. Now, if it was made small enough and actually tapped, it might be okay. Like I said, screw this in a couple times, it'll actually waller it out. And yes, I do run a housing on my GoPro when I play, because Airsoft BBs will take them out. It feels all right. Looks pretty good. They put their little logo on, so if this is yours, cool. Actually, I'm gonna put on the right side of my gun, so that's actually backwards. I'd like to put it on top, but of course then this will be in the way of my sights. You gotta be able to see what you're shooting. So I actually got to see. Well, see. Put a nut on that side and tighten her down. That's how she's gonna look. It's pretty slick. Let me show you this. This is an M5 screw, and this thing actually has a hex here that the nut sets down in, so you can tighten it down without really having to hold it. It actually fits pretty good. Show you from this side. Just hold your finger on there to get it started. Who knows what size Allen wrench you use on an M4? I mean there you go, an M5 screw. See, that way you don't have to hold that nut. It tightens right down. I'm not gonna pull it tight because I don't want to break it. It's got to go down over a gun or the rail on a gun. It works like a charm. So I'm hoping next weekend to go play with this mounted on the side of my gun. So guys, we'll go back to the house, put it on a gun, see how we really look. With the GoPro in it and everything, see how it feels and looks. So guys, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Like I said, we'll get back over there. And, yep, just thanks. Thanks for everything. All right, guys. So we're back here at the house. We have sanded this thing up. Got it cleaned up pretty good. Still got some little stuff hanging out, you know. But it'll be all right. We got this cleaned up good. Now I went online and I ordered these segments of Picatinny rail that mount on the key mod, which is on the side of the gun. Here's that without the screws in it. Little tab on there. So you gotta make sure that these are loose enough so that you can get it past this little tab. So, and they just screw in that they supplied a little wrench with it. Kind of looks like a 3mm, maybe a 2.5. I don't know. It's what came with it, so we'll be using it. It may be a standard. It's probably metric. So for this, we're gonna mount on the side. I had to loosen up my little paracord. I might take it off and redo it, just to. I had to get it out of the way. So I want to keep. Slide the gun over here. I don't want my GoPro hanging way out here on the end. I want to have it up here tight, so it's more weight here in the middle, kind of more central, and I think that'll be more like, you know, won't feel it as much being here. So we're gonna put that here in the middle. Like I said, I got these screwed loose. just seat right down on here. You gotta make sure this tab lines up in here in the grooves. Actually, it actually ends up in this one. So that's gonna be locked on once we screw these tight. And I'll try and show you it from the other side too. You can kind of peek through and see, but see, that's snug, it's not tight, and it really doesn't want to move. So we'll go ahead and tighten this bad boy down. And tight's tight, you don't have to wring it off. They're not big screws. So the last thing you want is to strip this out. You know, yes, the other one comes with the same hardware, but there's no sense in it. And I'm not pulling hard, you can see 2 fingers, not that bad. So there we have that. That is on tight. And I got the red because it goes with the look of my gun. Now, this thing uses an M5. So what we can do here is slide it right on here. And we can kind of position it anywhere. Now, you got to remember that this hole has this M5 screw going through, and the screw is actually going to go in between the pieces right here. Sorry, the dogs are over there barking outside at a leaf or something. But that's what keeps it locked in place, is the screw going through here. Any position you want. I want to have it, like I said, more central, but I also don't want to have it hanging off where it's kind of dopey. So, you know, even would be pretty cool, like that. Would make sense. Or, judging by the holes, let's see if I can show you. So you can see all the way through there. So, that's good there. Or, we can put it there. You can see all the way through. And that's good and even. And that's kind of a cleaner look to me, actually. I wanted it back farther, but that little bit will be okay. And that way I know my GoPro, which is probably a big, will still not hit my sights. So, sorry. This just goes up through here. And you gotta kind of get it lined up just right. And it is a little snug in there. So what I ended up having to do, and yeah, that's the tripod of my GoPro, is basically just screw it through there. It does kind of booger up the paint or the anodizing. You can see it on this one, which is I was just messing around with, and it ate the anodizing off of there. It's fine. Doesn't hurt anything. It's aluminum. It's not going to rust. You know, it's non-ferrous. You all know that. So screw this through. And see, once we put the nut up top, this will pull down tight and it won't move. Right now it's got just a little tiny bit of wiggle, but it'll be like a clamp with that nut up top. And I'll show you that once the screw comes through. So now you can see the top of the screw. I won't be able to screw it like that, but what I can do now is put this nut up here, and you can see that's kind of the same shape as that nut, and it will hold it still some. Now, could they have made it just a little bit smaller? Yeah. You know, like I said, I went onto Thingiverse and found this mount in like 2 minutes at most, and sent it to a friend of mine that I work with, or a guy I work with, and he printed it for me, which was awesome. And well, actually his son printed it, so I thought that was really cool. I'd like to have a printer, and if you'd like me to get a printer and maybe print more Airsoft stuff, You know, we can print other mounts for sights and what have you, or who knows what. You know, I'd have to look and see, you know, and maybe we just go from there. Print all kinds of cool stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Just let me know, leave a comment if you want to see me try to do that. You know, I think we could do it and have fun. So now I've got to get some way to hold this nut tight as I screw it in. You know, this is pretty snug. It's not really going anywhere, but I'd like it to be tighter. So that's how that is. That's down the side of the gun, kind of. And I'll reposition the camera in a minute and show you how snug everything is. Like I said, I wish I could get this just a little bit tighter up here. I'll have to wedge something down in there. I don't want to use my pocket knife, but we can. This pocket knife, if y'all are interested, I did a review on it. It's called a rake, something kind of different. I've been carrying it for a while. You can see edge is still great. I don't use it for stuff like this a whole lot. I try to take care of my knives and use proper tools, but for the job. But apparently that was the right tool for that job because it worked good. It didn't hurt the knife. I didn't use a sharp side, so we're all good there. But yeah, I did review on this on the channel of this knife. This thing's super slick, got ball bearings in it. So you can check that out. I'll try to put a card up maybe or something for that. So let me get my GoPro case and I'll be right back. All right guys, so I'm back. This is the GoPro case that I do use. I do keep cases over my GoPros while I'm playing Airsoft. I'm pretty sure they've taken shots before and handle it fine. Looks like there's actually a couple little round spots on there if you look at them. But I have seen GoPros getting busted, so I don't want to bust mine, and they're in good shape, so I use these. And they don't weigh a whole lot. Yeah, it's a little bit, but whatever. A little bit bulky, but they have buttons. You don't have to open it. You know, they press little things in there and up here, so it works good. But let's show it, or let's put this thing on the gun. Here, well, lay that down. We will slide it in here. Now we have our thumb screw that comes with GoPros, and this might not be exactly a GoPro one. I have a bunch of them. If you have GoPro cameras, you will acquire more than you need of these. So I have a nut to put on the other side. Normally GoPro mounts have the nut on the other side. This is printed and it wouldn't last if you did try to thread it in. So we have a nut for it. Leave a comment if you know what the thread pitch or thread size is on the GoPro thumb screws. A little hint, they are metric. So that just goes right in there, no problem. We'll put the nut on the other side. Sorry if you can't exactly see it right now. We already want to fold that out of the way. Now, am I going to pick my gun up by my GoPro mount? No. It is just printed. Plastic. Not exactly sure which plastic it is. This we're going to snug up pretty good. While I hope it's tough, I don't have any illusions of this thing being super tough. It seems good. I haven't really mounted it on here yet. I had it on my other gun, my son's gun, a little bit. It's pretty tight. I gotta figure out a way to hold that nut again on the other side, like before. But that's how that's gonna be. Let me reposition the camera and I'll kind of show you a little more of how it looks on the side of my gun. Alright guys, just get a better view of it out here. This is the mount on the side of the gun, on my gun. I will fix that string, or I'll take it off one. I just like the red and the black look. This is from the other side. Looking down the sights here, it appears that you can't really hardly see it. Yeah, you can see just the corner of it. That's not that bad. Now, the reason I put it on that side is right here. I run a chest rig and I keep my gun on a single point sling all the time. It usually hangs just like this. So this way my camera is not going to be banging against my legs. Sorry, I know this crappy camera work, but this way the camera's not banging against my legs. Should be out here, should be fine. Bringing it up, it's not that much heavier. You know, it's kind of heavy sometimes anyways. Seems pretty low profile. I think it's gonna work really good. Nothing loose, nothing rattling, other than the normal stuff. So I'm excited. You know, and here's a front view. Barrel socks always, guys. So if you're on that camera, guys, you're gonna have a bad day. And I'm hoping to go play in a day or two and try this bad boy out. So if you like it, let me know. If you like the way it looks, let me know. Leave comments, like, share, subscribe, follow. You know the routine. I really appreciate all the subscribers. I'd like to get to 1,000 maybe some point, you know, but I need help. I'm not even a quarter of the way there yet. Getting kind of close. At the time of this, I got about 220 subscribers. So guys, please subscribe. You know, I think it'd be awesome to hit 1,000. If you like the printing stuff, let me know. We'll print some more stuff. We'll print airsoft stuff. We'll print just whatever stuff. We'll print anything. I don't care. I've been looking at some printers a little bit. So just let me know. And let me know what you want me to print. But guys, like I said, I really appreciate everything. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Trying to get on TikTok. I haven't really posted anything yet, but I'd like to. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.